the repositioning expert, Chala Dincoy.
I stare out in fear at the crowded hotel ballroom, just like I'm doing now. It's full of business people, hundreds of them. They're eating at the buffet, they're networking, they're talking, and I can hear my heart beating in my ears because this is my first ever networking meeting. I've just launched my business, and I'm scared, and my high heels are killing me. And in the meantime, I can hear my brain clicking back to the training that I received the weekend before, the sales training that taught us how to sell the coaching training that I bought, where the instructor said, now when you're networking, if somebody asks you, what do not tell them that you're a coach, because nobody knows what that means. So what you do instead, ask them, what is it that you'd like more of? And then you coach them right then and there, and then when they get an experience of you, they'll buy from you. So I'm armed with this information and with the determination that I'm gonna leave my day job that I've been doing for over a decade for the greener pastures of entrepreneurship. I step into the networking room, I see a woman going to the buffet, and I fall in line right behind her. And she smiles at me and she says, hello, I'm Elizabeth. And I'm so thrilled somebody's talking to me, and I'm like, hi, I'm Chala. And she hands me a plate and says, well, what do you do? And this is the moment that I've been waiting for. It's what the training is all about. So I say, well, before I tell you that, is it okay if I ask you, what is it that you'd like more of in your life? What do you think she says? Her face sours. She takes a step back, and she puts her half-filled plate on the table. And she says, I feel as if you're trying to sell something to me, or I feel very uncomfortable right now, and I'm not happy at all. I don't know what you're trying to sell to me. And she leaves. And she leaves the food, the buffet, she leaves me, and she probably leaves the room. And I'm left there, my first networking event, and I'm devastated. And what do you think I do? I leave right after her. And I slam into my car, and I'm so upset, and I'm crying tears of humiliation and frustration as I'm driving home. And I say to myself, Chala, how is it that you've worked for Pepsi and Pizza Hut and Frito Lay, and you've managed these amazing brands and hundreds of people and teams of suppliers and millions of dollars, and you can't even talk to anyone about your business? How are you ever gonna launch your own business and get a single client? And that was a very dark, dark moment. And let me tell you that, thank God, 7 years later, I pushed back and I came back, and I now have a thriving practice where I actually teach entrepreneurs how to introduce themselves to their prospects so that it converts into a client. And I make 3 times what I used to make in the corporate world. Woohoo! And I get to pick and choose who I work with, and I am determined never to let another entrepreneur leave confusion behind and money on the table when they do their elevator pitch. So here's what mine sounds like. Chala, what is it that you do? Well, do you know when entrepreneurs meet their prospects at a networking event and it almost never converts into a lead where somebody asks for their card or for a sales appointment? Well, what I do is I fix what they're saying so that that happens, so that it converts into a lead. So I'm gonna give you the short version of how to do this, the formula, the secret to how to do this. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, so the first is get really specific about who you help. Is it dentists or autistic children or transportation companies? And you may help a lot of people, but I want you to get real specific because 86% of buyers cannot tell the difference between 2 people who do the same thing. And that is one way that we niche you down, is to figure out who you help. The second part is figure out what is the most expensive problem that you solve for them, or in the case of B2C, which is business to consumer, what is the biggest problem, the most pain? Because 70% of humans purchase based on pain. If there is no pain, there is no sale. Only 30% care about improving something. So that is the formula. You take who you help and what problem you solve for them. And then you put it together. And then you can laugh all the way to the bank, and happy networking!